Do you remember when we were kids and we were resourceful with our art? Not because we had to be, but because we saw art everywhere we looked. We saw dragons in the clouds, made shadows with our hands, and turned flowers into clothes for little fairies. Ever since we were kids, everywhere we looked, something could be turned into something else. As we grew older, we forgot what art was, how to make it, when to make it, why we made it. We blame it on growing up, we blame it on time. Oh, where did the time go? Without realizing that time was the one chasing us, and we were the ones that had to slow down. This is a story about slowing down and creating art, and realizing that art was within me all along. To set the scene, it's a very chilly autumn in London, and I am in true student fashion preparing last minute for an exhibition that I'm going to be part of. It is a collective exhibition, which means that it's going to be featured alongside other artworks, and I'm already behind on deadlines that I set for myself. But it's okay, because all I need to do is start. My overarching idea for this will be an installation of a picnic. The first thing I'm doing is research. I already know the motifs I'll be painting, but I'm using glass liner to create an outline for my paint to go into so that it'll look more traditionally like stained glass paintings. I know that I want pomegranates because they represent harvest in paradise, two ideas which showcase the idea of hard work being rewarded in every lifetime. Strawberries represent the accessibility of this reward because they don't have any thorns, which means that anyone can be a beneficiary of their fruit. Chestnut tree, maybe, because I want to represent something overtly that gives the symbolism of giving new life. And the picnic is obviously because I want to represent shared joy amongst nature. My main art practice is glass painting. And the glass that I paint is mugs because I like the idea of drinking together. It brings people back into a state of relaxation and rest. And across time has been the moment in a busy day where people sit down, usually with each other, to share a word or two and just be. So I want to talk a little bit about the project and exhibition itself. It's being coordinated by Lydia at Ali's Art Club, which is a cooperative that I am proud to be part of, and has definitely helped define myself as an artist. What is a cooperative, you ask? Well, a co-op is a business or organization that's owned and controlled by its members to meet their shared needs. Uniquely, the members in a co-op are us, the beneficiaries, employees, residents, even the suppliers who have a say in how the organization is run, done by us, for us. The exhibition itself, as I mentioned earlier, is done as a collective, and we titled it We the Creatives because it reflected well on our co-op's core values: care, create, connect. My experience on this project was joyful, fulfilling, evolutionary for me as an artist. It allowed me the space to reflect on how I want to make art on the one hand and make a social impact on the other. Because of this, I entitled this project The Fruits of Labour, which is, as I said, a curated picnic installation that represents the idea of a cooperative being a productive and communal way of providing for its members. Creating this installation for me was provocative. It really pushed me to consider how the motifs I usually paint already resonate with the club's values of connection and care for our community members. I think the word society is so rigid and quite structured, honestly, but community breeds creativity and a natural inclination to be there for each other. Another very strong belief that I hold is that everyone is artists. Art should be accessible and everybody should be doing art, even if they don't feel like they're making it. That's why the title of this exhibition is We the Creatives, not We the Artists. At the time of recording, the ethos for my art is that by creating pieces of artwork that intentionally serve many purposes, we can make life more fun and sustainable. Art has always been functional, and everything functional can be a piece of art. But what happens to that ethos when I begin to commodify my artwork? When I begin to start selling it and people say, oh, it's too expensive, or oh, it's way too cheap and you're completely underpricing yourself. I know this. Look at how slow and laborious this process really is. Look at how much time it takes. Glasswork isn't easy to handle, especially if it's now on a curved surface. It's really thin, and there's a lot of handling that goes into making sure that it doesn't go out of the lines, which it still does, and I have to then restart it. It kind of looks like blood dripping, which I think is quite appropriate for Halloween season right now, but also, the juxtaposing symbolism of pomegranates as sacrifice. I want to be transparent and put it out there that making my mugs isn't costly. The paints I use stretch out for many, many mugs. The paintbrushes I use, I take care of so I can reuse them again and again. And really, the only thing that I would be charging for is my time, which I know is a lot of time. But doing this project for and as a collective really helped me realize and negotiate that my kind of artwork is one that I want people to have. I want it to be accessible, and it is something that I think people benefit from having in the first place. I'm not trying to put value on other people's artwork, but I'm trying to say that when I make my artwork, I have the purpose of its use always in mind. Which brings me to consider, what impact would I like the project to have on the community? Well, the same one that it had on me. I want the community to be confident in accepting that accessibility and revolution go hand in hand. If we are to fight the monstrous machine of capitalism, we need to bring community back, and that means making accessibility the norm, whether that's financially, socially, or psychologically. My mugs at the end of the day are mugs. They can be used to drink rose tea, or they can be used to have your granola in the morning. The fact that I paint them as such, and the fact that I have a personal story to tell behind the artwork, doesn't devalue the fact that it is art at the same time. My entire ethos is that both artwork and functionality go hand in hand. The reason that I put a price on it is because I'm forced to. I'm forced to create core values and a mission statement and a brand vision and give it purpose. But at the end of the day, all I want to do is create unabashedly the way that I did when I was younger, when I didn't have the restrictions of money or time or effort, where I didn't know that I needed to put value on what I was creating. So, they become smudged. I baked them for about 20 minutes, and then I asked my mom to take them out, and they were fine, but then accidentally, when she was taking them out, they touched each other, and so 20 minutes is not enough for it to cure, so I needed the gold to cure and the paint itself. So it but came off at places and smudged in places, but it's okay because we'll just use our trusty tweezers and make it right again. In Yoko Tawada, Scattered All Over the Earth, there is an excerpt that goes like this. With Mexico's economy booming, Spanish speakers are now flooding in from California, greatly decreasing the West Coast's workforce. And since China has stopped exporting goods, America must produce all its daily necessities domestically. But no one knows how to sew anymore. This being the case, they're desperately trying to recruit immigrants who can speak English and are good with their hands. Europe, on the other hand, has developed a comprehensive welfare system that covers everyone, including immigrants. But with national budgets running low, they would rather have all the foreigners who can speak English move to America. The joy of being included in a community, being an artist, is knowing that my work is desired, appreciated, and needed. That my voice as a community member is valued, that my personhood is enjoyed. There is much displacement and exploitation and outsourcing and abuse of human rights in the world. But when you are in a community with people who strive for justice, when you're in a state of constant anger and disillusionment, artwork is a tool for resistance and change. I sell my zines for 75p and I sell my mugs for £12. I wrap my packages in existing cardboard and bubble wrap, and I deliver my packages by hand or sell at art markets because I want to connect with the people who buy my artwork, and I want to decrease my carbon footprint. I know some might think that that is a luxury in itself, but I've chosen the way that I think best serves my own political agenda and makes me feel best about what I do with my art, when I do it, and why I do it. I think that the main thing that I learned about myself during this entire process was that my artwork is appreciated and that my personal is enjoyed and that people genuinely do like artwork like this. And I know I don't need other people to like my artwork in order to make it, but someone out there will like the artwork. Someone will. And I am so fortunate that I have found my crowd and my audience and my beneficiaries and my admirers, because now it genuinely does make me want to keep going and to make art, even if it's not exhibited and even if it's not sold. I want to continue being an artist.